This next poem I'm gonna do is called Borderline Crazy. When I got called a wetback and got told to go back to my country, I almost felt like going borderline crazy. And so the first draft of this poem was literally borderline crazy. It was borderline offensive, right? It was borderline like threatening. and that's because I felt threatened and chased my whole life. And so I felt like this poem came out of pain, and this poem came out of all the horrible things that me and my family and my father, my mother have been called in the last few years. And so instead of taking it out and doing something stupid, finding myself in jail, I decided to write this poem instead. So again, this poem is called Borderline Crazy. All right. If the U.S. were to crumble, would Americans jump over their own borders and mob the streets of Mexico City? Would they seek refuge in Darfur or Somalia? Our perceptions on immigration would change very quickly. If Donald Trump were to cross the desert, he would probably die from sunburn. Our brown skin is proof of survival. It is a battle wound from our journeys to this country. If Obama's children were stripped from him and deported over to Kenya, he would ban SB 1070 at once. He would regret not teaching them the native tongue and never bothering to learn it himself. He would curse his government for allowing their skin to become lighter behind the shadows of the White House. Do you think he would trust his daughters' lives in the hands of a coyote? Would you? If the sounds of stomachs rumbling reminded you of bullets, would you be afraid of hunger? If your children cried for food, would you steal a piece of bread for them? If you have answered yes to any of these questions, then why would you blame anybody for coming to America? All they seek is food and shelter. So break bread. It's not like we weren't the ones who baked it for you in the first place. Can you see the immigrant bones that your homes have been built with? What countertops made from their spines and kitchens where too many immigrants have touched your food to call it American? Do you still call this a home? Have we forgotten that the pilgrims crossed over on boats? So tell me, who are the wetbacks now? If the sun and the moon slide through our borders every day without showing a visa, then why should we have to? If a person is not welcomed in his home or anyone else's, does this make them nomadic? Do you think people enjoy being pushed out their own home? You think they leave for no reason? Do you know what it feels like when both of the languages on your tongue try conquering each other? ¿Tienes miedo cuando hablamos en español? Does it frighten you when we speak in Spanish? Pero te da más miedo cuando hablamos en inglés. But it frightens you more when we speak in English. Esta siempre será nuestra tierra. And no, we will not translate that. But I will translate this. Humano, say it with me. Human. Binatabu, human. Mensch, human. Manvia, human. Daritsan, human. Ka'anaka, human. Bila Ashla'i, human. Let them eat. Let them eat. Let them eat. Thank you.